Today the story is about a man whose fear and brutality still give people chills. Now imagine if someone like that suddenly appears in today's world. Yes, this is about the German ruler whose name once made the world tremble. One day he is sitting with a companion and feels something is wrong in the plan. So he says they should change things because the war is ongoing, and this move will affect many people. His companion agrees. However, suddenly, a loud explosion happens. When he opens his eyes, he finds himself lying in a park in Berlin. Smoke is everywhere, so he assumes enemies attacked and destroyed his bunker. But in reality, he has jumped from 1942 straight into 2024. Nothing around him makes sense. As he stands up, he sees tall, modern buildings and assumes enemies must be resting nearby. Just then, 3 kids playing football come near and ask if he is fine. Instead, he asks them for a street direction and then proudly walks away wearing his cap. Meanwhile, a reporter filming nearby unknowingly captures him on camera. Soon, he walks onto a busy street and feels shocked. People are wearing strange clothes and no one salutes him. Instead, they laugh, take selfies, and act casually. He starts thinking maybe war has made everyone crazy. Then a modern car passes by and he touches it in confusion. Everything feels unreal, and he cannot understand where he is. People keep clicking his photos, and he grows irritated. So he asks a woman the current date, but she gets scared and sprays pepper spray in his eyes. On the other side, we see a news office where the CEO announces a new deputy. A man named Christopher gets furious because he expected that position. Angry and humiliated, he lashes out at a struggling reporter named Fabian and fires him for poor performance. Meanwhile, the man wakes up inside the same shop and asks the owner if he kidnapped him. The owner laughs and thinks it is some kind of act because he looks exactly like Hitler, but he seriously claims he is the real one. The owner still does not believe him and hands him a chocolate. He struggles to open it, then smells peanuts and wonders if Germany still has food shortages. He then reads a Turkish newspaper and asks for a German one. The owner explains many Turkish people live here now. This shocks him deeply, and he starts reading carefully. Soon he realizes 2 harsh truths. Germany lost the war, and Poland is now a separate nation. Everything he fought for is gone. Meanwhile, Fabian sits sadly watching his old recordings after losing his job, while his mother tries to comfort him and remind him not to give up hope. He tells him there is no need to sit sad, because sooner or later he will get a new job and life will move again. Meanwhile, his eyes fall on a man walking behind the chute, and that man looks exactly like Hitler. Fabian also cannot believe it, because how can someone look so perfectly like him? Both of them stay shocked for a moment. At the same time, when the shop owner opens his store, he finds Hitler sleeping inside. So he tells him to get out because he cannot let him stay there anymore. However, Hitler gets angry since he feels no one can order him around. Still, he has no choice, so he steps outside, and then the owner insults him by saying his clothes smell bad and he should wash them first. After that, he goes to a dry cleaner and gives all his clothes. Since he was wearing many layers, the cleaner gets confused, and now Hitler has nothing left to wear. Therefore, he borrows some random clothes, and the combination looks so strange that anyone would laugh. Meanwhile, Fabian somehow finds that same shop again. When he returns and sees the man properly, he gets a crazy idea and shares it with him. Hitler likes it too. The plan is simple. Fabian will take him around the streets of Germany and ask people what they think about Hitler. In return, Hitler suggests they should also ask people about politics, so the deal is done. Then Fabian borrows money from his mother, and they take her car. At first, Hitler complains about the car and asks where the armored vehicle is. Still later, he agrees. They shoot some videos and stay in a hotel where Hitler sees television and gets totally confused by this modern world. His reaction makes the scene very funny. The next day, they talk to more people. Some call Hitler a monster who killed innocents. On the other hand, some support strict policies against migrants. After hearing all this, Hitler realizes that even in democracy, although now they hide it better. Later at a farm, he plays with a puppy. Yet when it bites his finger, he gets furious and shoots it. Fabian quickly pulls him away and takes the gun. He even explains that he kept his mustache to look dangerous, yet Fabian laughs and says he looks more like Charlie Chaplin. As money starts running out, Fabian makes him sit on the road to draw sketches. People think he is a theater artist and pay him. Finally, when the trip ends, Fabian uploads the videos and they get millions of views. Soon a news director calls him to the office and everything begins to change. He starts sounding like a crazy lover because the things he says feel really strange. And meanwhile, behind their backs, Adolf Hitler reaches the deputies, where Belina is present, and then he tells her they must work together to protect Germany from outside enemies. Otherwise, the country will fall apart. And surprisingly, Belina likes this idea, so she asks about the plan, and after that, she even builds a small team that will record his talks and shape them into something useful. Soon, a girl teaches him how to use a computer, and he gets shocked seeing modern technology, and then he becomes angry after learning someone already used his name online, although in reality she was just trying to create his email, but the name was taken already. Meanwhile, Fabian also gets a job there as a kitchen boy, and at the same time, his boss, Christopher, gets an idea since he wants to turn Hitler into a comedy character and basically make people laugh at him. However, here comes a twist, because Christopher is already angry due to his promotion issues, so he deliberately creates problems and even adds hateful lines into the script. Then the live show begins, and everyone keeps staring at Hitler. Yet the moment he starts speaking, while looking straight into people's eyes, the whole audience goes silent and a strange fear spreads because he is clearly very skilled at controlling a crowd. Instead of following the script, he talks about poverty and unemployment and says people are being weakened and reshaped, and then he declares they must make Germany great again, and suddenly everyone stands up and claps. Christopher hates this, but the show becomes a massive hit, and soon Hitler's popularity shoots up, and many shows invite him, and even ministers start meeting him, hoping to rebuild a stronger Germany. Still, Christopher keeps searching for a way to shut everything down and remove Belina. One day, agents warn them to stop the show since it is creating fear of another war. Yet Belina somehow saves it, while Christopher secretly plans revenge. Later, he uses proof about the dog Hitler killed and spreads it to create hate. And then, during a live interview, the host plays the clip, which shocks everyone, and Hitler loses control and threatens him on air. And just like that, the fame he built collapses, and the show gets cancelled, and Belina gets fired. After that day, he starts living at Fabian's house, and meanwhile, he keeps writing everything he feels in a diary, as if he wants to record his thoughts slowly and steadily. Time keeps moving forward, and life begins to look normal on the surface. Fabian also finds work at a new studio and tries to stay focused on his career, although Christopher's news channel is now falling apart, and he cannot understand what he should do next. Then one of his employees suggests bringing Hitler back, because maybe that will boost ratings again. And surprisingly, Christopher likes this idea, so he goes to Fabian and offers to invest in a movie about Adolf Hitler, although it must air only on his channel. Fabian agrees almost immediately, and the project begins. One evening, Fabian takes him to dinner at his girlfriend Rubina's house, and however, her mother recognizes Hitler at once and calls him a devil since she is Jewish. And as soon as he learns this, he becomes furious in the car and says he thought all Jews were dead and claims they do not deserve to live, which shocks Fabian deeply because he cannot understand how someone can carry such hate inside, yet he stays quiet and brings him to the studio for shooting. Fabian tries to learn about the strange man he is filming, but the man remembers nothing about his past. One night, after shooting ends, thieves attack him. He angrily blames people like them for ruining Germany, but they beat him and leave him injured. The next morning, he wakes up in a hospital where Belina is waiting. Meanwhile, Fabian reviews old footage and notices something odd. In one clip, the man stands near bushes. Fabian visits the spot and finds strange powder in the soil, along with a sign about a bunker once owned by Adolf Hitler. He realizes the shocking truth and rushes to the hospital, but Belina says the man already went to the studio. Fabian confronts him with a gun, demanding answers. The man calmly admits he is Hitler. Fabian calls him a monster, but Hitler defends the past. Fabian shoots him, thinking it is over, but Hitler suddenly appears alive and shoots Fabian instead. Then the twist appears. Belina yells, "Cut!" revealing it as a movie. However, the real Fabian is locked in a mental hospital after discovering the truth. The film becomes a hit, and people slowly start admiring Hitler again, showing how history can repeat itself if ignored.